Cal State universities have often praised themselves in being accepting to all student backgrounds. It's this emphasis of coming together that makes going to university feel more welcome. However, back in 2017, Cal State University Chancellor Timothy White sought out a new executive order that would change the whole emphasis of campuses and how school would be worked in general. Executive Order 1100.
My name is Dr. Amy Glocke. I'm an associate professor of Africana Studies. I've been here, this is going on, I think, my 8th year, which is kind of crazy, but 8th year. In addition to being a professor on campus, I also was and still kind of am an academic advisor in our department. I also am the student, the faculty advisor to both the Matadals, which is the major team on campus, and also the BLC, which is the Black Leadership Council, which is the umbrella organization to all the Black student orgs. Executive Order 1100 originally was trying to get rid of the ethnic studies requirements. Then once we had established that that was going to continue, then it was going to add and change the upper division classes and add an upper division science, right? And our students tend to struggle because of the Eurocentric nature of the sciences. They tend to struggle in those classes to begin with, even the lower divisions. Trying to add an upper division science is just going to throw off our students, especially when this is all under the guise of student success, which is trying to get the students out faster. So the last thing you need to do is add an extra science class onto it, and that's not going to help the students get out faster. And then the reconfiguration of the upper division classes is also a problem because it's going to give us less access to the students, which we normally have a lot of cheeky students. And so this is actually going to be really detrimental to us as well. So the 1110 was about the writing and the math, and then the 1100 was about the ethnic studies, and then adding the changes in the upper division and the science classes.
In its essence, Executive Order 1100 was supposed to help students by making it easier to transfer to other fellow Cal State universities. However, even though the order was made with good intentions, many have argued that the means of making this happen were unethical. In order to have all Cal State universities comply, new rules were to be implemented. This limited and would eventually get rid of the Section F requirements, meaning students would no longer have to take said classes in order to graduate. Immediate backlash came with Chancellor White's decision. If Executive Order 1100 was implemented, students would no longer have to take gender, ethnic, women's, or cultural classes in order to graduate. Many universities acted immediately, and CSUN being such a diverse campus, the students demanded change. Protests ensued all over campus. Students and faculty made their message clear. Don't F with Section F. Protests eventually escalated due to the university not standing up for their students. It even led to a walkout in which students listed off their demands in front of Chancellor White and the CSUN president, Diane Harrison. After such an uproar from faculty and staff, the Chancellor finally revised the order and came out with a new Executive Order 1100 revised. And then could you just go more into explanation of the executive order for, I believe you said 14 AB?
So AB 1460. So AB 1460 was an assembly bill that was introduced by Dr. Shirley Weber, who's a Black Studies scholar from San Diego, and she was also part of the National Council of Black Studies, so we love her a lot. So she introduced AB 1460, and AB 1460 it was originally to say 3 units, but now we're saying like at least 3 units because obviously you guys take 6 units here, so we wanted to make sure. So requiring ethnic studies to be taken on every CSU campus. So that's what we're really pushing for right now, and that's our goal. So we've been calling legislation, we've been trying to get our legislators to vote for it, and that's what we want to happen because then all the CSUs have to include ethnic studies if they don't already, and then require it. So then we won't have that transfer problem because everyone will have it, right? And then we can also include like queer studies into the mix and women's studies into the mix, so we can obviously make sure that they're included.
Administration and CSU executives assured students and faculty that the new Order 110 revised would not lower the amount of classes made available, but instead set guidelines and simply clarify the basic general education requirements. Nonetheless, students and teachers still feared that this would only be a baby step to a major problem.
No, I mean, I get where he's coming from, but I don't think that's fair to those departments who do have the cultural studies department. I'm minoring in a cultural study. That's not fair to take it away. Then what are the people who already have them going to do? Like, that takes away minors, majors, any of the cultural studies. I think it's not fair. I think we should keep them.
Do you think it's an inconvenience then to propose such an executive order such as he has done?
It's inconvenient because I don't think it should even be considered. They're small enough. Why take them away? Like, how much harm is it going to do to keep them?
Do you think cultural studies classes in general are important to not just students but like university life?
I do. I think they're a great way for people who come from high schools who don't have any kind of cultural studies at all to branch out and learn more and learn new things and potentially find new minors and majors that they would want to be in.
Do you think cultural study classes are important?
I think it is eventually, because now in society we are, we're very diverse, and it's good to learn about different ethnicity, cultures, and stuff like that. So yes, it is important to us.
Is there anything that you would propose in response to the chancellor's proposition?
I would say not to cut the classes shorten, because, like I said, there are full-time and part-time and full-time students that are trying to take classes at different hours and having a limitation of classes to take now, and then there's so many thousands of students trying to take classes, so that'll limit a chance to even get for a registration date. So I will actually say not to limit that, because it cuts down, on our class courses to take. Then it kind of puts us behind, for another year of graduation. So yeah, it is important to me. So.
Then finally, after months of protesting, the State Assembly responded to students and faculty. They proposed a new bill that would in turn make it a requirement for all CSU students to complete, at the bare minimum, one ethnic studies class in order to graduate. With the inclusion of this new bill, many were relieved that their voices were finally heard. On the other hand, though, many weren't satisfied and felt as though it wasn't enough.
So what ends up happening is the administration right now cannot just undo an ethnic studies department, right? We used to have an order that came down. I'm not sure if it was a law or an order that says that ethnic studies departments couldn't be touched, and that's not in existence anymore. So how do you dismantle an ethnic studies department? You try to ensure that the students can't have access. So what I was saying with the upper division classes, it used to be that a lot of our students could take their upper division classes with us, and they would take all 3 classes with us. Now they can't take as many with us in terms of the configuration. So less students equals less majors and minors. Could we recruit a lot of majors and minors from the GE classes? Then that means less faculty, it means less money, it means less classes, and it means really the detriment of our department. So it was a way for administration, and continues to be a way for administration, to dismantle the ethnic studies departments without having to go outright saying it, because if you do, hey, I'm going to dismantle black studies, administration's going to look racist. So this is the way that they do it without doing it, right? But we know. We see it.
Do you think like it's a fair compromise, or do you wish it would have been more, less?
It's a struggle though, because I'm of the radical nature that we just need to get what we need, right? We need to these executive orders should have never been passed, and although we voted against them, the provost didn't care and she just did what she wanted, right? So that to me is just ridiculous, right? Where is the faculty who are fighting on behalf of the students? Where are the students who are fighting on behalf of themselves? And we know that this isn't going to work. So, but then the sad thing is then because we had all that happening, then we have to pass this AB 1460. So I don't think it was a compromise. I think for us it was a different tactic to get what we needed, because we weren't able to do what we needed to do on CSUN's campus because administration blocked us every step of the way. So we basically said, okay, you don't want to help us? We're going to go to Sacramento and we're going to do it this way. Because then when AB 1460 passes, then y'all are going to have to deal with this. So now you can't say anything because now we got it a law. So I think almost they didn't necessarily expect that's what we were going to do or how we were going to do it, but that's what we did. So I don't think it's a compromise. I think it was just another strategy to get what we needed to do. And again, it's not about what we want, it's about what we know is going to be beneficial for the student. Because the taking ethnic studies doesn't require you all to be here longer. It doesn't. Taking a year writing class does not require you to be here longer, right? We know this. So attacking these two areas with 1100 and 1110 just doesn't make sense. What's keeping us here longer, the students, is the math and the sciences. So let's have a conversation about how their classes are structured. Maybe they need to be smaller classes. Maybe they need to be taught not in such a Eurocentric way. And there's a whole host of other things that are happening to keep students here too. But why is it that we're targeted, and why aren't we having conversations about like math and science, which our students tend to struggle with?
So in regards to that, what do you think, in your opinion, is the future outcome for all of this, just summed up, for student life, faculty life, departments?
Well, I'm hoping that AB 1460 will be passed, and then that will ensure that you have to take the ethnic studies classes. I think we're going to continue to fight on our campuses to try to make sure that the students don't have to take that upper division science, and that the GEs can get reconfigured in a different way so as to not exclude the ethnic studies departments. But honestly, the problem is that every ethnic studies department is fighting every day for our existence, right? Like, we literally fight every day. Our presence in a predominantly white institution, our existence just kind of proves the rest of the university racist, because we're here, right? We wouldn't be needed if Black people were adequately discussed in all different disciplines. We wouldn't be needed.
In the end, the fate of CSU's ethnic studies classes falls in the hands of future students. We all have a voice, and it's up to universities to stand up with their students. Today, cultural studies remains one of the strong suits of CSUN's university life. Everywhere you go, you see influences from cultures all over the world. And even though their voices were finally heard, students and faculty insist that they will never be silenced.